You don't talk anymore. You haven't in weeks, maybe months. No texts, no calls. She doesn't even watch your stories. Yet somehow, she's still there in your thoughts every single day, morning to night. You don't ask for her, you try to move on. But when the world goes quiet, her face shows up and it hits you hard. Not because you miss her, but because you don't understand why she's still there. That silence between you two is louder than anything. And it's time you finally understood what it really means. This video isn't just for men who miss someone. It's for the man who's tired of living in the past. For the one who doesn't even want her back, but can't stop thinking about her. You've told yourself you're fine, but deep down, you're stuck, and no one's ever explained why. Support this message if you're ready to stop surviving and start evolving. Your support helps spread these insights to the men who need them most. By supporting this message, you're not just helping yourself. You're helping thousands of other men finally understand the storm in their mind. Let's build something powerful together. Why can't you forget her? Let's stop pretending it's just heartbreak. Let's stop pretending it's about her. It's not. What you're really suffering from is insecurity. And before you roll your eyes or shut this down, hear this. Not the loud kind. Not the type that walks around with slouched shoulders. This is the quiet insecurity, the one hidden behind your ambition, your confidence, your "I'm fine" mask. The one she saw when she got too close. Because deep down, you didn't believe you deserved her. That's why you never felt safe. That's why every time she got closer, you pulled back or pushed harder. And the worst part? She felt it. She saw you trying to impress her more than connect with her. She saw you trying to control the outcome because you didn't believe you could hold her by just being yourself. So eventually, she walked. And now you're not just hurt, you're humiliated. Not publicly, but privately, silently, where it matters most. What you can't let go of is not just her. It's the wound her leaving left behind. Because her absence confirms something terrifying you've tried to ignore, that you still don't believe you're enough as you are. Her presence was proof that maybe, for once, you could be seen as worthy, even if you didn't fully see yourself that way. And here's the psychological truth. When someone leaves us, our brains don't only grieve the person, we grieve the identity we built around them. The version of us that we hoped was finally strong enough, desirable enough, grounded enough. When she left, it wasn't just a breakup. It was an emotional collapse, a subconscious reminder you still haven't become him yet. That's why you can't forget her. Not because she was the best, but because her exit exposed the worst in you. The doubt, the need for validation, the fear of abandonment. She didn't just break your heart, she broke the illusion that you were ready. And now, instead of facing that reality, you fantasize about the past. You keep her alive in your thoughts because it's easier than confronting the insecurity that pushed her away in the first place. Let's be even more honest. You were never fully yourself with her. You were a version of you that you thought would keep her interested. You avoided vulnerability. You avoided uncomfortable truths. You avoided leading with strength instead of validation seeking. And she saw through it because women feel energy more than words. She felt the hesitation, the indecisiveness, and the emotional fragility behind the surface confidence. And when that type of woman senses instability, she doesn't always run immediately. First, she tests, she questions, she pushes, not to hurt you, but to see if you'll rise. And when you didn't, she disconnected. That's why it hurts so much now, because a part of you knows you failed a test you never realized you were taking. So stop telling yourself she was the one. She wasn't. She was the one who exposed the fact that you're not the one for yourself yet. You're still operating from fear, from lack, from a need to prove instead of a drive to become. You don't need closure with her. You need confrontation with yourself. The human mind is efficient. It only holds on to things that feel unfinished. If she's still in your thoughts day and night without effort, it's not because of magic. It's because your identity, your manhood, and your confidence are still tied to her validation. She's the symbol of the unfinished version of you, and your mind is begging you to either complete it or collapse. This is why forgetting her doesn't work. Because deep down, your mind doesn't want to forget her. It wants to redeem you. You don't just want to move on, you want to win the battle you lost when she walked away. And the only way to do that is not by getting her back. It's by becoming the man who would never lose her in the first place. The man who doesn't chase because he knows he attracts. The man who doesn't panic because he knows he's grounded. The man who doesn't obsess because he's too busy building something bigger than any woman could ever offer. So, if she's still in your mind and you're still searching for meaning, good. That means your work isn't done. That means what you really lost. You've been telling yourself you lost her. That's the story you keep repeating. That's what you tell your boys when they ask what happened. That's what you whisper to yourself when your chest tightens in the middle of the night. But that's not the truth. The truth is far more uncomfortable. You didn't lose her. You lost yourself. Not the whole version of you. Not the one that gets up and goes to work. Not the one who makes people laugh or shakes hands in meetings. You lost the man you were becoming when she was around. And here's the part that stings the most. You liked that version of you. You liked him a lot. He had fire. He had hunger. He had this quiet sense that something was clicking. And now that man's gone, or at least that's how it feels. See, she didn't bring you confidence. She didn't install self-worth into your veins like a surgeon. What she did was reflect a version of you that you finally felt proud of. Her belief in you gave you permission to step into your own potential. And when she was in your life, you had something to prove, not to her, but to yourself, that you could love without fear, that you could lead without overthinking, that you could show up as a man with direction, not just distractions. And now that she's gone, you don't know where that man went. You replay conversations, you stare at photos you swore you'd delete. You revisit moments in your head, trying to figure out when the shift happened. When did it go from "we're building something" to "she's slipping away"? And every time you come up empty, you sink deeper. Not because you miss her arms, but because you miss the man you were while she was in them. Let's get even more controversial. She may have never loved you fully. She might have left for reasons you'll never understand. Maybe she even outgrew you. That's real. That happens. And yet, it still doesn't change the fact that you were better when she was in your life. Not because she completed you, but because you were trying. You were evolving. You had a direction. That's what men crave more than anything. Direction, momentum, a reason to rise higher than their default mode. And that's what you really lost, not her. You lost the edge. You lost the urgency. You lost the clarity that comes from believing you're becoming someone powerful. It hurts not because she took something from you. It hurts because you stopped moving the moment she left. And here's the psychological burn. Your mind knows it. Your subconscious isn't obsessed with her. It's trying to scream at you that your own evolution was never supposed to depend on a relationship. That version of you was real. He wasn't acting. He wasn't pretending. You weren't faking strength. You were finally accessing it. She just happened to be the mirror that showed it to you. But now that mirror is gone and you're left wondering, can I be that man without her gaze, without her presence, without her belief? The answer is yes, but it requires something you've been avoiding. Internal leadership, not external motivation, not another woman, not another rebound or distraction. Leadership from within. Because the man you became while she was around, that man wasn't hers. He was yours. You built him. You brought him forward. You fed him hope, discipline, and clarity, and you can do it again. But only if you stop trying to feel her energy and start rebuilding your own. Only if you stop staring at the place she stood and start stepping into the place you've been avoiding. The future that requires you to lead yourself. Without her applause, without her softness, without her belief, you can grieve. That's fine. You can miss her. That's human. But never forget, she was not the prize. You were. You are. And what you truly lost was the rhythm, the vision, the fight that made you dangerous again. That's what you've got to reclaim. Not the girl, not the moments, but the man she woke up inside you. And once you do that, not even her memory, the test you failed, and how to pass it. No, she wasn't your soulmate. She was your mirror. She didn't show up to complete you. She showed up to expose you, to reflect back every part of yourself you were trying to hide, avoid, or deny. You thought you were ready. You thought being there physically was enough. You thought affection, presence, and attraction would hold it all together. But that wasn't the test, the real test. Were you willing to evolve? Were you willing to grow beyond your comfort zone, to drop the ego, to lead with clarity and discipline instead of emotion and reaction? Were you becoming a man who could hold structure, not just emotion? Let's be real about why she left. Not the excuse you tell your friends, not the nice version that makes you look mature. She left because the foundation cracked. Because you couldn't handle the pressure of her standards. And maybe she never said it. Maybe she didn't even know how to articulate it. But her silence screamed it. She tested you, not maliciously but instinctively, because feminine energy always tests masculine energy to measure its depth, to measure its roots. And you failed, not because you weren't good enough, but because you were unprepared. You weren't grounded. You weren't consistent. You weren't leading with direction. You were reacting to emotion. You were trying to keep her, not elevate her. And whether you lost her slowly or suddenly, whether she left calmly or with a storm, the outcome was the same. She walked. And with her went the chance to prove you were the man you believed you were. Now, here's where it gets raw. Her leaving wasn't the punishment. It was the consequence. The final page of a test you didn't know you were taking. Because men don't get to avoid growth without cost. The universe doesn't allow stagnation without erosion. When you stay soft, passive, and indecisive, the feminine pulls away. It has to. It doesn't matter if she loved you. It doesn't matter if you had history. She sensed you weren't stepping into the role you were meant to own, so she left. And that's why it stings so damn deep, because deep down, you knew. You felt the shift. You saw the signs. But instead of leading the relationship forward, you tried to maintain it. And masculinity that maintains dies. Masculinity has to move, to build, to adapt. And when you stopped evolving, the test marked itself failed. But here's the part most men miss. Just because you failed the test doesn't mean you failed your life. The test wasn't about keeping her. The test was about becoming you. The man who doesn't need someone else to show him who he is. The man who's clear on where he's going and doesn't beg anyone to walk beside him. The man who leads himself even when no one's watching, even when no one's clapping. The man who doesn't beg for love because he embodies it. And here's the second chance life gives you, not with her. That chapter is over. The second chance is with yourself. Now you get to decide. Will you step into the fire of responsibility? Will you rebuild the discipline you let go of? Will you silence the distractions, the excuses, the soft language that tells you you're doing your best when deep down you know you're coasting? The man you were becoming, he's not dead, he's buried. And the tools to dig him out are not in your phone, not in your DMs, not in hoping she texts back. The tools are found in discipline, in stillness, in facing the parts of you that let her down and owning them without shame, without blame, without self-pity. So, no, you don't get a do-over with her, but you get something better. A chance to become the man who never fails that test again. The man who leads, not chases. The man who builds, not begs. The man who evolves so far beyond who he used to be that even her memory has to respect the man she could never hold on to. This is your second test, and this time you don't need her to pass it. You just need you, fully. How to reclaim yourself. Let's get one thing straight. Healing isn't a cute little phrase on a motivational meme. It's war. A daily battle between the man you were and the man you keep avoiding. You don't reclaim yourself by reading quotes or watching how to move on videos. You reclaim yourself by brutally eliminating everything that weakens you, one silent moment at a time. It starts with something most men fear: stillness. Not the silence she gave you, that's passive, that's absence, that's void. I'm talking about the silence you choose, the kind that strips away the noise of social media, the distractions of fake validation, the constant addiction to being seen, heard, and liked. The silence where you finally face the hardest question you've been dodging since the breakup. Who was I trying to become when she was in my life? You don't ask that once. You ask it until your stomach tightens, until your chest gets heavy, until you hear the truth, not the fantasy. Because that version of you, the one she saw potential in, the one who was sharpening, building, and leading, he didn't die when she left. He faded because you stopped feeding him. And if you want him back, you have to earn him. That means writing. Not on Instagram, not in the group chat, just you, a pen, and the truth. Write what you're avoiding. Write what hurts. Write who you used to be and why he disappeared. Then train. Not just your body or mind. Push weight until it hurts, then keep pushing. Do things that remind you you are not fragile. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. And every drop of sweat, every set you finish, every rep you didn't want to do is a declaration, I'm back, then delete. Cut out the things that drain you, the people, the vices, the apps, the passive habits, the scrolling, the numbing, the pretending. If it softens you, it slows you. If it distracts you, it destroys you. You're not just trying to feel better. You're trying to become a man who doesn't need to recover next time because he never falls off in the first place. And here's the cold truth. This is not about revenge. If you're trying to level up just so she sees you glowing later, you already lost because she still controls your focus. She still lives rent-free in your ambition. This is not about making her regret. This is about making sure you never regret yourself again. The power doesn't lie in forgetting her. That's childish. That's forced. The real power, the kind that lasts, is in remembering you. Remembering the man you were starting to become before you tied your identity to her validation. Remembering what it felt like to wake up with fire, not fear. Remembering that you weren't created to chase, you were created to build. And the next time she comes to mind, because she will, don't run. Don't suppress it. Use it. Fuel it. Let it remind you, I have more to do, more to build, more to become. Her memory isn't a curse, it's a compass, but only if you're man enough to face where it's pointing, inward. Because reclaiming yourself isn't about getting her back, it's about getting you back. The unapologetic, disciplined, dangerous version of you that forgot how powerful he really is. Now, build him. No more surviving. No more loops. No more holding your breath, hoping she reaches out. You are the message. You are the closure. You are the comeback. She's not just a memory. She's a lesson. She came into your life to show you who you could be. And now she's gone, but the lesson remains. You have two choices. Let that lesson rot into regret, or let it drive your rebirth. You were never mourning her. You were mourning the life you stopped chasing. So start again. Better, smarter, stronger. This time for yourself. Not for her. Not for revenge, but for the man you promised yourself you'd become.